Hello again, this is a continuation of my video on Cocteau Twins, starting with 1985 in their mid-period. They released two EPs. These were called Tiny Dynamine and Echoes in a Shallow Bay. The first of these is Tiny Dynamine. Contains 4 tracks, 2 tracks per side. Music is sort of a continuation of what you find on Treasure. That's what the inner label looks like. The back label has a design, abstract design similar to what you find on the back cover of the EP. And here is Echoes in a Shallow Bay. As you can see, the cover design is similar, but the artwork is a little bit different. The artwork on the back looks a little bit more like the back artwork on Tiny Dynamine. And again, even the inner labels are very similar. I consider these to be some crucial Cocteau Twins cuts. Their work with the drum machine at this point was getting really sophisticated, let's just say, and the vocals are becoming pretty incredible. There's some tracks on here that just became classics, like Gray Spangled Fritillary and Pink Orange Red, Plain Tiger. I think Eggs in Their Shells is a great song, but they're really all worth checking out. So these two EPs were released separately, and then later they were released as an album, and they really do go together quite well as an album, even though most of the Cocteau Twins albums feature 10 tracks instead of a total of 8 tracks. The next album that I'm going to take a look at is called Victorialand, which is named after an area in Antarctica. This one was released in 1986, the same year that Cocteau Twins also released their collaboration with Harold Budd called The Moon and the Melodies. The music on here was only performed by Robin Guthrie and Liz Fraser, so it's very spare, mostly acoustic, a lot of reverb, a lot of ambient sound, some incredible vocals as usual. A lot of people find this to be more of a minor selection out of the Cocteau Twins oeuvre, I guess you could say. For me, it's one of their strongest releases. Make sure you listen to it at the right speed. When I first picked this album up, I played it at 33 speed, and it's meant to be played at 45. Believe it or not, it sounds good at either speed. It's got some fabulous artwork too, I should mention. Okay, next, in 1986, this very curious EP came out. It's called Love's Easy Tears, and I have 2 different versions of it. So the first one that I'm going to show you is a domestic copy on Relativity. Looks like that. It's just a very pretty, almost metallic looking cover. What makes this different from the UK release is that this one has an extra song, so the track listing is a little bit different. It has a song called Orange Apple that was added on. I'm not sure why. And then this album on Relativity has just a very plain white inner label. And I won't be able to show you this, I'm sure, but I'll put a photo up in this video. It's translucent. It's on dark brown translucent vinyl, which I just discovered the other day. Okay, let me show you also what the UK pressing looks like. So the UK version has actually slightly different color tones. Now that might just be something that happened during the pressings when the inks were applied. I'm not sure. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but this one's kind of got a little bit less of a greenish tint in the blue colors. The labels are different. As you can see here, this one's got much more colorful labels, unlike the Relativity version. I consider this to be my favorite Cocteau Twins EP. It has the production by Robin Guthrie that's way over the top. So there's just a lot of filigree, there's a lot of reverb and effects. Sometimes it just kind of jumps out of the speakers. It's almost unlistenable, and if you don't like really hyper saturated music, you probably will not like this. In fact, you might like Victorialand a lot better. It's kind of two sides of the same coin. I happen to love this music. Anyway, check it out, see what you think. In 1988, Cocteau Twins released their first major label album, which was called Blue Bell Knoll, and it was released on the Capitol label. They went with a quite different cover design from anything they'd done previously. I don't know if it was their decision or the label's decision, but they had this unique die cut with folding flap. So you open it out and it looks like this. I might have to bring it back a little bit so you can see the entire thing. And then this is what the back cover looks like unfolded. This album has a plain black inner sleeve. This is where it gets kind of boring when you get to the inner sleeve and label on Bluebell Knoll. Not really very impressive. Jacket, I like the design on the jacket. It's not the best Cocteau Twins artwork for sure. The music, however, is incredible, and boy, they really hit a home run with this one, in my opinion, especially the first track, Bluebell Knoll, which opens with this almost harpsichord-like line, and then just kind of builds up into one of those sounds that really just explodes. I listened to this again for the first time in a couple of years recently, and boy, it was just a real revelation. I still like it as much as I did when it came out in '88. So anyway, this is definitely an essential release in my opinion, Bluebell Knoll. I don't have my absolute favorite Cocteau Twins record, which is Heaven or Las Vegas, on vinyl, and that's because when it came out I was in Germany and albums were really expensive over there, and I started buying CDs. They weren't cheap either, but that was the format of the day, and I still just have never picked that up on vinyl, although eventually I do intend to. Heaven or Las Vegas is a great album. I wish I could show it to you, but I can't. So instead I'm going to show you this, which was the only true single released from that record, and it is for Iceblink Luck. It has a couple of awesome B-sides, Misake the Mizan and Watchlar. Watchlar especially, I really like the drum machine sound on it. This is what the inner labels look like. And here again, Cocteau Twins went with a completely different visual aesthetic for their second Capitol release. I'm not having any luck with these notes. I'm getting stuck in the album. I used to have a full-size Subway poster of this artwork. Well, it was similar to this. It was the artwork for Heaven or Las Vegas, and I don't know if I still have that poster. I looked for it the other day and couldn't find it, so I probably sold it. Okay, next up, these are the Fontana releases of Cocteau Twins. This is not an original pressing. This pressing is from 2018, and this is the album 4 Calendar Cafe, which was released in 1988. So there was a pretty good hiatus between Heaven or Las Vegas and this one, 2 or 3 years. This record store day release was only in Europe. I had to special order it from the Netherlands, and it is on really attractive purple vinyl. Looks like that. I'm not going to show you the other disc. It looks pretty much the same as this. I'll put it up in one of the slides at the end of the video. Another one of my favorite releases, 4 Calendar Cafe, kind of continues in the vein of Heaven or Las Vegas. The lyrics are a little bit easier to understand in places and get a little bit more confessional. Anyway, really like that album. And then the last album that I'm going to show you today is Cocteau Twins' Milk and Kisses, which was another Fontana release. This is also a Record Store Day 2018 release. This is what the inside looks like. They did a really nice job packaging this. My copies had a couple of dings in the corner. There were only 1,000 copies of this and 4 Calendar Cafe pressed, so I didn't even really bother to try to find another one. I'm just going to keep these like they are. This one's on white vinyl. Get it, milk and kisses, haha. I call it milk and cookies sometimes to myself. Another good album. Took a little while for this one to grow on me, but eventually it did. I wouldn't put it in the absolute top 5 Cocteau Twins favorites, but it's definitely worth seeking out. Although original pressings of these Fontana albums command huge amounts of money, so I would go ahead and spring for the reissues if you can find them, even though there weren't that many of those pressed either. So some of the ones that I did not show because I do not have them, there were some vinyl releases of other Cocteau Twins EPs from Fontana. I don't believe there are any other real singles from Heaven or Las Vegas or Bluebell Knoll that were released. So that's pretty much it. It's a very good overview of Cocteau Twins on vinyl. Leave your comments, questions below, and if you like it, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.